Trudeau Liberal government spent $100 million of taxpayers' money last year alone on migrants coming into Niagara. Documents released showed that there was 4,896 asylum seekers last year in Niagara region. That equated to $6,000 per migrant per month that was spent. This release comes from Conservative MP Baldinelli, who was able to get this information from the government. The data shows between February 2023 and January 2024, basically taxpayers are on the hook for $208 each for these migrants coming in. And this is it's a touchy subject because obviously you want people to flee their country, but at the same token, money can be spent better than it always is with the Trudeau Liberal government. And the Liberals just waste money endlessly. Now, if you're not familiar with the whole migration situation, a lot of people flee to New York because it's an asylum city, and they're being overrun, as well as Chicago. They're being overrun because they also allow in a lot of people, and a lot of those people flee up to Canada. Last year, the mayor of Niagara, Jim Diodati, came out and said that the capacity of hotels in the city was maxed out at 2,000 being used for migrants. He was quoted on saying that we're trying to be good Canadians and do what we always do, which is always lend a hand, but there's limits to everything we can physically do. As a side note here, there's an RV behind me right there, and this is people, that's how people have to live now. There's like tar patches on there. They obviously got a leak on that RV there and patched up with some roof shingles and some tar. I would have done the same thing, especially if I'm living in there. You gotta do what you gotta do. This is the state of Canada here. Anyways, back to the story. What's very bizarre about this whole situation is it says 1,100 single men are claiming asylum and being housed in hotels in Niagara, but yet only 400 single women. And there's fewer women and children in general that are they're being granted asylum. What is our immigration minister, Mark Miller, that absolute loser bonehead, doing? On top of that, he's announced $362 million of more funding for asylum seekers. You know, we need a real solution to this. It's not just breaking our backs so people from other countries can come in. They're in a bad situation. I've got a simple solution. So what we're gonna do is let these people into the country, and say it costs them, each one is getting $6,000 of taxpayer money, then that's the bill they have to pay. And they have to pay that back and just put a timeline on it. Whatever seems fair. I mean, it's pretty hard in Canada right now, but say you put a 5-year timeline or maybe 10 years, they have to pay that back, and maybe it's paid with a tax or an interest or whatever it is. But maybe give 5 years free leadway with no interest paid, and then they start accruing interest on that after 5 years to incentivize paying that off. It can't just be free, but it's like, welcome the people, but they have to contribute. They can't just come here and then just live off of everyone's backs. I know from the real estate industry, a lot of, going back when there's a lot of Chinese immigration, the families, especially since I used to be part of a Chinese family, my ex-wife is Chinese, a lot of the families would send over their old grandmother from Hong Kong to take advantage of the Canadian healthcare system, so they wouldn't have to pay private healthcare in Hong Kong. This is a really easy way to get things done for free. It turned out to be really easy for them to do this, and it just became really popular. And so everyone would send over their 85-year-old grandmother and just take advantage of our system. This should not be allowed. We should have to have a system that forces people to pay taxes for so many years. Otherwise, you have to pay a lump sum upfront of like $200,000 to be afforded our healthcare system. Like, just the policies in this country are so stupid, and they don't benefit us. It benefits everyone but us. So on top of all the money that's being spent on asylum seekers, we've also got 50,000, it's around 46,000 and change, almost 50,000 people that have been rejected for asylum, but refused to leave the country, have snuck in. Some of them are meant to be deported or pushed out, and they're not. So we have 50,000 people just floating around the country that shouldn't be here. So the CBSA has indicated that there's 28,000 failed refugee claimants subject to a warrant, and an additional 18,600 failed refugee claimants subject to enforceable removal order. It states here that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said last month that Canada has seen a spike in asylum seekers since the Fed closed the Roxham Road entry point. So that's basically where most of them were coming from America. And get this, further, Prime Minister said that some asylum seekers are members of organized crime. You can't make this stuff up. So I think it's quite possible that a lot of these organized crime asylum seekers are the ones stealing the cars in Toronto. It's not that far. You know, it makes sense. Whether they got flushed out of America, or I don't even know what the situation is, or if a lot of these guys just coming straight over from India and Africa, or they go to America first, who knows? But we really need some serious new laws in Canada, and they can't be a little slap on the wrist. It has to be serious punishment. You know, you commit a crime, you go into jail for 10 years, 15 years. And not only that, these criminals should have to be made to work in jail. They should have to produce stuff. They should have to work for their living. Why would I pay for someone to live in an enclosed box? Why would you pay for that? Why would any of us pay for that? They should have to work for their own living, making widgets, things they can't use to, you know, attack each other in jail or whatever, but they can easily be part of some sort of factory in a jail where they have to work their 8 or 10 hours. You know, look at the average Canadian. How much are we working? It's like, okay, 12 hours a day. You guys got to work 12 hours a day. You don't like it? Tough luck. You shouldn't have broke the law. You shouldn't have stole 6 cars. You know, you shouldn't have mugged some person on the street and stole their Rolls Royce. Tough luck. We need tough laws in Canada to get rid of this crap. Enough's enough. That's where we're going to end today's episode, but hopefully a little bit of serenity here will help calm the the nerves and situation of what's going on in Canada here. It's very nice out here right now. Pretty cold, but pretty nice. And stay tuned. If you follow my hiking channel, I have a video when I went on top of that one right there that'll eventually come out here, maybe in a couple weeks. I've already got 3 videos up there if you're curious. Mount Irwin on my channel, Mount Howe, Mount Joan, Mount Squarehead. I've got 3 or 4 videos of that mountain. Let's just take a minute to bask in the beautiful Pacific Ocean here. Oh, we just missed it. You see the ripples right there? There's a sea lion just came out, probably ate a fish. How sweet are these carvings? So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about how many migrants we're letting into the country, and should we increase that number? Do you think my strategy, my plan there with having them pay it back is a good idea? Is there another plan? Should we just not let them in? Let me know down below. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, my second channel here. Stay warm, stay fed. I'll see you guys in the next one.